I would directly hand over to Peter Neill and Trisha Badger from the World Ocean Observatory. The World Ocean Observatory is an NGO and project partner of the Jena Declaration, founded by Peter Neill. And they are caring about the ocean, and especially about ocean literacy and ocean education. Because the ocean is not something which with only importance for coastal regions, for example, but with a huge importance for everyone, because the ocean is a network that connects us all, and the sustainability of the ocean is of huge importance to reach a sustainable and joyful life. So, Peter Neill, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So thank you very much, and the floor is yours.
Well, if I was highly motivated, since I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, staring at just the screen and listening to all these presentations. It's been fascinating. If I ever had any doubt about alliance between the Jena Declaration and World Ocean Observatory, this has certainly reassured me. I was drawn to their approach by virtue of its opposition to the normal, which is a kind of approach that is dictated by the UN and various structures and behaviors that, by their own estimation, at this point have not done a good job at essentially dealing with the major challenges, natural challenges, climate, for example, now characterized by the Secretary General as too little, too late. I just read a report this morning from a forthcoming meeting planning for the World Ocean Forum in Nice, in France, and the essential question of what's next and how do we do it differently remains unanswered. So I think that what we have been part of this morning is very much an answer. It has been a joyful experience to listen to your presentations today and to understand the many ways we can contextualize conservation sustainability with joy through action and cultural revitalization, arts and humanities, relation to personal well-being and community transformation, therapeutic approaches within families, even nation states, and the unity of these perspectives as a moral dimension through rationalism, emotion, behavior, and change. It's essential to understand the process of advocacy and transformation as a process of personal and collective fulfillment and of self-realization and the communal outcome of joyful engagement. That the Jena Declaration would dedicate a conference to this understanding is further demonstration of its unique approach to the coming together, as we have done today, of innovative ideas generated not as policy or didact imposed top-down from authority above and away, but as motivated from the innumerable manifestations worldwide from the bottom up that are at one with nature, from which such ideas and ourselves are sprung. In my view, that nature is oceanic. The ocean as natural process interconnected at every level of social, financial, and political enterprise from all time is the focus for survival. And in that fact, the penultimate source for joy. If we despoil it, we demean ourselves. If we subvert its wisdom, we drown in our ignorance. Why would we choose such a plan? Why would we not pursue the fulsome advantage of its gifts of sustaining water, food, energy, exchange, solace, and nurturing solution? The ocean gives us so much. The projects described here by you today are evidence of diverse ingenuity, to be sure, but also of something much larger, of universal reciprocity, of our giving back with all the satisfaction derived from sustaining the commonality and generosity of nature. The ocean as a locus for joy connects all things. The World Ocean Observatory is grateful to be your partner. I give you joy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Peter. That was a fantastic final statement. Joanne, would you start with your impressions of the whole day? I think we can continue for another 5 minutes or so, but a wrap up.
Sure.
What for you the most interesting or most touching or the most notable parts of the various statements we have could listen to and watching to?
Well, there's so much I could say, but I can be brief. If you would like me to say a few things in conclusion of this wonderful day. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, and then I will put my additional
and then
maybe
you wrap
thoughts on
up?
the other one at the end. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, there's so much to say, Benno, so if I go past 4 minutes, cut me off.
Okay, I do that.
I'll be brief. I'm very capable of doing it. I think this morning I summed up what I had to say about the morning, and then coming back for the second and third parts of the program were so inspiring the whole day. And I so agree with Peter from the World Ocean Observatory. It was an uplifting conference. And this is what we need. And it's putting this element of joy into our work on sustainability that I think does lead us to being uplifted and encouraged to go forward, not put down by setbacks when we focus too much on the work of policy and rulemaking. That it's really up to us, people in all walks of life, to lead this movement forward and to arrive at the transformation that's needed. And we had so many positive expressions of how to do that today through creativity in the art. Just a few that I'll mention. Beyond those that we discussed this morning of creativity that came through as creativity, engagement, interconnectedness. These were repeated this afternoon when we spoke about meditation and the benefits. Again, that theme of interconnectedness from India's largest environmental organization. How wonderful to be led through that pause. Maybe we can take a lesson from that, the 10-minute pause, a quiet moment, and thinking with gratitude about what nature brings us and how we fit into it. I like the question that was posed by several people this afternoon that said, we know what to do. We know what to do as individuals. We know what to do collectively. We just don't do it. And why is that? And so I think we have many ideas that were given to us today about that for inner sustainability and the behavioral shift that can come from mindfulness in each of us. We talked about culturalizing healthcare and how important that is, obviously, to bringing joy to these questions. Fundamentally, good health is the foundation of well-being, and some lessons we learned from those talk about bringing about positive health outcomes that support, for one, they have to be called, these interventions for health need to be culturally sensitive. Again and again, we return to this. They talked about inclusivity, having support from family and community, and the necessity in having good health, to feeling supported, whether physically or digitally. That support can come from many sources, and the feeling of not being alone, community mentorship, empowerment, and integrated care. All of these came forward as well. And then, of course, the session on Indigenous communities and how important that is. I would say that we talked about the importance of recognizing, again, interconnectedness of humans to nature and what we can learn from Indigenous communities about that from and the passing of knowledge from one generation to the next, and that passage of knowledge, which also leads to joy. And this in turn needs to be, I would say, must be respected. And I think that we could pause on that term of giving respect to Indigenous knowledge both by policy and rulemakers at every level, and how we've learned that failure to do so results in the kind of catastrophe described by Monsieur José in colonial India, and that continue, including, among others, anger, confusion, marginalization, all of these things that lead to poor management. Finally, the influence of Goethe shows the power of art. Again, we come back to this notion of the power of art on thought. I think that what I took away from part of that was that in order to attain the sustainable world that we all seek, we have to first be able to imagine it, to think it, to incorporate it into our philosophy, into our being. And it, as Goethe said in that analysis, the whole of the choir points to a secret law. I wish to happily hand you at once the disentangling word. Watch now and be transformed. I would say, may we all. I think what has come out of all these presentations and discussions is this: more or less what it will take for us to get it right. And because we can still get it right. I think that the joy that comes from living consciously, our interconnectedness with the natural world, is fundamentally the most important message to come out of the conference. And I'm sure we'll all take away from these many wonderful presentations and incorporate it into our work. I thank each of you. And of course, you, Professor Werlin and Martin. Thank you so much.